To start, breaking news here. President Trump says he's commuting George Santos' prison sentence. The former Long Island congressman is 3 months into a 7-year sentence. A live look here right now at FCI Fairton, the prison where he's being held. Santos reported there in July after pleading guilty to wire fraud and identity theft charges last year. In a Truth Social post, the president said Santos has been horribly mistreated and he will be released immediately. Santos' attorney released a statement writing in part, "I am forever grateful to President Trump for seeing the human side of the suffering that Congressman Santos went through. He was in solitary confinement in protective custody due to threats against his life," end quote. Joining me now to discuss next steps is political expert J.C. Polanco. J.C., thank you for being here with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Let's get right into it here. First, are you surprised by this move from the president at all?
It's a good question. I'm not surprised that it happened. I'm surprised of when it happened. I mean, he just got sentenced. He just went in. I thought it was going to take a little longer. So I'm not surprised, however, that the president used his power to commute people that had looked out for him, people that he supports, people that had supported him throughout some tough times. We have seen this incredible power to commute and pardon be used by presidents for a very long time. This is an incredible power that the president of the United States has, and he's been known to use it and use it often.
So, J.C., a commutation is different from a pardon altogether. Santos' record won't be wiped clean here. Why do you think the president chose this route instead of a full pardon?
I think a lot of it has to do because of the people that were defrauded. If you recall, George Santos represented an area that supported President Trump. President Trump has a strong connection to Long Island. George Santos is incredibly unpopular in Long Island for the fraud that he committed and the way he lied himself into Congress. And he hurt a lot of people. So a complete pardon would have said, I, as president and on behalf of the United States, forgive you of all of your crimes. This, however, says, you're not forgiven for what you did. You're still a criminal, but those 87 months and change, we can forget about it. Let's just say time served, have a good life, which is what the president ends up saying in his commutation. Very different. So he doesn't have a completely clean slate to start with. He's still a federal convict.
And I know it's early. I know it's early here. But do you think George Santos will try to run for office again?
I don't know whether or not he's going to try to run from office. From the character that George Santos was when he was out of jail and out of federal prison, I can tell you I saw him on Cameo several times, charging hundreds of dollars to sing happy birthday to you if you wanted. So I can see him having a reality show. I can see him very popular with podcasts. George Santos is going to be very, very well off on YouTube somewhere.
All right. What comes next? We will wait and see. J.C. Polanco, thank you so much for being here with us tonight.
Thank you so much.
The surprise announcement from President Trump came earlier this evening on Truth Social. He wrote that he just signed a commutation to release George Santos from prison immediately. Santos represented Long Island in Congress before he was forced to resign and charged with fraud and identity theft. Earlier this year, he was sentenced to more than 7 years in prison and ordered to pay nearly $375,000, this in fines and restitution. Here to talk more about the case is civil rights attorney Mayo Bartlett. Mayo, thank you so much for joining us here tonight.
Thank you.
So in our first half hour, we spoke to a political analyst who said he wasn't surprised that Trump commuted Santos' sentence, but was surprised by the timing. What do you have to say about that? Do you agree?
Not necessarily. This is somewhat late. Friday tends to be a day that receives a bit less coverage as well, and the hour is a bit late. But other than that, there's no particular time where I would anticipate that the commutation might occur. I was not surprised either that the commutation actually did occur.
So with the commutation, among the charges Santos pleaded guilty to was defrauding investors to his political campaign. Will Santos still have to pay the restitution he owes? And if not, is there any legal action that the victims can take here?
My understanding is that the commutation simply deals with the amount of prison time that he would have to serve. I don't believe the president is in a position to set aside, summarily at least, to set aside particular fines and things along those lines. That has been determined based upon a hearing, and that will in all likelihood have to still be paid.
And my next two questions here both have to deal with the future. Since charges will remain on Santos' record, will he have to adhere to any restrictions when he's released, like a probation or something like that?
No, because he's in jail, so the commutation can effectively end his sentence right now. There's no indication that there would be any post-release supervision, and the president has this squarely within his power under the Constitution in order to either pardon or to commute a sentence.
And so what are the logistics? How soon could Santos really be released? Trump said immediately. Could it happen, say, tonight?
There's nothing that prevents it from occurring immediately. It's a question of logistics for the correctional facility itself, whether they are able to actually accomplish it that quickly. But there is no procedure that requires him to stay any longer than is absolutely necessary for his release.
So the answer to that question sounds like it could be tonight. Mayo Bartlett, thank you so much for joining us here. We'll keep our eyes on this one moving forward.
Thank you.
And we're still waiting to learn when Santos could be released. We just heard it talk about it right there. And what's next for the former congressman as well. As we learn more, stay with CBS News New York. You can find full coverage of Santos and his legal troubles on our website, cbsnewyork.com.